Go back and find our first question. Go do
Our
that.
first question comes to us from Tori in the chat, in the YouTube chat. Tori asks, what can you do if you can't really transition all the way because of safety and money issues?
Did Tori tell us where they're located?
Let's just assume she's in a place that she's being honest.
Honestly,
That
the one thing I always tell people is all you can do is what you can do, and it can be overwhelming, and it can, for lack of a better term, suck to not be able to do everything that you want. But really, all you can do is take those steps that you can do now and prepare for, putting yourself in a position to get those things when things change. I didn't transition until I was way older. I kind of wished that I could have done that sooner. As soon as it was possible for me, I just did whatever I could then. And I didn't start hormones right away because I thought I was too old. I thought it wouldn't work. And as I took the steps that I wanted to, I found that was possible, and now that's where I am today. I don't want to pry. So, Portland,
I have a lot to say about that. I lived in Portland.
Then you go for it. You take over.
Portland, Oregon is one of the best places you can be if you want to transition in the United States. It's up there with Seattle and Los Angeles and New York as one of the better cities in the country where you can do this. So let's talk about safety. Portland's is almost as safe as it gets. Maybe Seattle's a little safer, maybe Los Angeles, but you're not going to get much safer. And that now, if what you mean by safety is you're in some sort of relationship that's not safe, or you have a workplace situation that's not safe, that's something that I can't speak to. But if it's actually Portland, the city of Portland, Oregon, that's not a transphobic city, not by a long shot. And also on top of that, the state government in Oregon is very progressive. And as far as money goes, I think you'll find that it costs a lot less to transition than you would think it was. It's surprisingly affordable, especially
work and family.
Okay.
It's not the area. Yeah.
Yeah, it's work and family. I mean, honestly, that's kind of just part of the package. That's something we all have to deal with. I don't think I've ever met anyone that's transitioned that didn't lose family or friends to some degree. It's one or the other, it more often than not both. It's just kind of a part of it. It's tragic that it is that way, but it's part of it. I mean, Lilith was saying she didn't transition until later in life, and for a multitude of reasons. Same for me. I didn't start transitioning till I was in my early 40s. And when I did, it was I can't put this off anymore. And the reason that I put it off for as long as it did was exactly that reason, as I didn't want to deal with all the potential of losing family or friends or my job or all of those scary things. But in the end, that is just part of the gauntlet as being a transgender person that you must run. It's just part of the package, and there's no way around it.
You have to figure out what's best for you. So I'm always hesitant to tell people, what I did or what I've done, because, I just do things differently. Let me just say that. I do things differently.
We all do, though. I think
we all do things differently, but I would say, in the past, I've quit jobs. I've not talked to my family in 2
same.
years. That's a tough mandate to fill up, but if it's my happiness over whatever the hell they got going on, I'm going to put my happiness first. And they're going to tell you it's selfish. It's not selfish. You're on this earth to live your life and be happy. If you want to be happy and someone else is telling you not to be happy, you're not selfish for wanting to be happy. They're selfish for not wanting to be happy.
They're selfish for not wanting to let you be happy. It's insane. The disconnect and the projection.
When it comes to family, you have to... It's okay. You have to make that decision about what's important to you. It's not going to be an easy decision, but you have to live the life that's going to make you happy. And it's nice that your spouse is supportive. I'm not sure what work you do, what field you are in, what opportunities are, but you can have a job and also look for another job.
I'd argue that you should do that. There's a lot of data out there that says that you should change jobs every 3 years. That's how you get pay increases. People that stay in their same job for longer than 3 years typically make less money than people who change jobs every 3 years.
You got to come to our other podcast, Being Employed. for that.
Which I would know all about.
So when it comes to things like this, it can be overwhelming. I've had those nights. We've all had those nights where we sit there and we're just beat down by everything around us, and you really just have to sit down and figure out where you want to go, what direction you want to go, who's with you, and what do you do with the people that aren't with you. And you're not wrong for leaving people behind. You're not wrong if you choose to keep your family in and tone down how you transition, and that's how you choose to live your life. That's not wrong either. I'm not here to tell you what's right or what's wrong, but you have to find what's going to make your life the best it is. Like I said, we only have one life, and I'm not going to sit here and tell someone else how to live their life, and they're not going to tell me how to live my life. And those are tough choices, but it really is just sitting down and like, okay, what direction am I heading? How am I going to do it? And then committing to that.
And that is just it. That's the curse of being trans is we have to deal with shit like this.
It is a unique trans thing, but also, there are people who aren't trans who their parents aren't happy with their decisions they make.
It's not totally unique to being trans.
Not totally unique.
It happens to atheists. It happens to just anyone on the LGBT spectrum, really. Anyone who defies religion, basically. Anyone who spits in the face of God gets that. Our very existence spits in the face of God. So fuck that.
Your wife is supportive. The two of you should make a plan. If you're both working, can you afford to quit now and then look for a job? Can you look for jobs while you're doing this? We get overwhelmed and then we think there's no options. We think there's no choice, and there's always choice.
You always have a choice. It's just choices are difficult sometimes.
I'm not telling you to quit your job, but people think, well, I can't quit my job. It's like, yeah, you can quit your job.
You can quit your job.
You're going to have to deal with what's next, but you can quit your job.
I'm also not telling you to quit your job. What I'm telling you to do is transition.
Don't tell them to do anything.
And have them fire you for it so you can sue the living shit out of them in Portland, a state where that's illegal for an employer to do.
I give this whole speech for how
because if you get fired
you come in
for
and
being trans,
and that's questionable advice.
You get that money. And then also, if you're fired, you then also can get unemployment. You can't get unemployment if you quit. You get unemployment if you get fired. And if you get fired for being transgender, for transitioning, for coming out, that's super, super illegal and super
Tori has
profitable.
said okay 5 times, and thanks for the idea. You can stop piling on with your lawsuits here.
I'm just saying, it's like I know I do this, and I know there's a part of me that's like, okay, there's an element of comedy to it, but the reality of it is that shit wasn't there for a long time, and a lot of people that came before us worked really hard to get those protections in place. In my opinion, part of our responsibility as transgender people is to keep that going and to stand on the shoulders of those that came before it and to expand those rights and that equality even further. We've got a long way to go before we even get to equilibrium, but it's gotten so much better so fast.
Okay, this is the last on the topic, just because
okay, last on the topic.
Kate mentions it can be hard to prove you were fired for that reason. And Kate is right. So do not bank your future on winning a lawsuit. Just live your life the best you can and deal with whatever comes next.
That's why you got to record stuff, everything all over the place. You always have your phone recorder on. There's an app you can get called Bold Beast Recorder that you can just press a button.
Find the next question. There were 2 more questions. Let's hop on to the next question.
No, but I mean, one last.
That was the last we were going to talk about. No more lawsuit advice from.
No, I was going to agree with Kate because Kate's okay. It's they are aware of those things, and that's what HR departments are for, is to protect the company, and they come up with other reasons. I got fired for that, but I did get unemployment. So I didn't sue. I wasn't able to sue, but I did get unemployment. Okay.